Hello everyone.
Hello everyone.
So this is just me. Don't go on the t-shirt because we are in a dry state and I don't drink. Okay. Sorry for that. Photo up I got. Fine. So recently I moved to Bangalore since last 2 years. Earlier I used to one of the team member of GDG Ahmedabad as in the co-organizer. But as soon as I moved to Bangalore, I was not able to contribute as much, so I stepped down. Now I'm coming here as in the speaker, or whenever I got a chance to meet the people here. Apart from that, I'm working at a company called Tata Digital. You might be aware of Tata new app. So એમાં જે વસ્તુ નથી ચાલતી એના માટે responsible હું છું. And actually they hired me to fix those bugs, so I'm working on those bugs. Huh? Sorry? नहीं चल रही थी ना हाँ क्योंकि कल डिप्लॉयमेंट था so that will cover today. So apart from my daily work life, what I do is I help the budding startup, budding students, entrepreneurs to help them out in terms of how they actually convert their idea into the app. So there are a couple of startups which I consulted them as in the consultant. 2 of them are very famous which I can name. One is a stage OTT you might be aware about. जो शार्क टैंक में शायद आया था वो लोग ने बताया था कि हम कंपनी नहीं क्रांति है. If like anyone is remember. So I got an opportunity to work with them on initial days. So I helped them out to set up their initial architecture, and the whole app is in Flutter. So I got a chance to work with that team. There was another company called MultiPie, which got acquired by ICICI. So over there also I consulted for 6 months. So apart from my job, I do these things as well. So if you have any idea or you want to know like how to convert your idea into the some good startup, how to grow it, I can help you over there. So this is what I do. Next. Oh, sorry, one more thing. I'm also a 4.5-year experienced father.
So my name is Khushbu Thakker. I have a 8+ year experience in Android Flutter development. And apart from my work, I am also a part of GDG Ahmedabad and WTM Ahmedabad. And I also helping women and students to guide in their studies, in the mentorship, and also helping in the communities to inspire and grow with each other. Yeah.
Okay. So as I am a Flutter GD, so we'll start with the Flutter. Okay. So what is Flutter? Why Flutter? But before that, since morning till now, what are the different kind of sessions that we went through? I need one small quick recap from you. સવારથી અત્યાર સુધી આપણે જે સેશન અટેન્ડ કર્યા લાઈક બિકોઝ મને ફર્સ્ટ સેશન બહુ ગમ્યો એમાં જે મેમ હતા ને જે ઓલવેઝ કહેતા વન વર્ડ આઈ લાઇક દેટ સો કેન યુ જસ્ટ હેલ્પ મી વિથ ધ વન વર્ડ ઓફ ઈચ સેશન what you have taken out from that session? First session mindset. Okay. Second session one word execution. Okay. Third session but that was really helpful, right? I'll tell you one thing. Actually, in this February, I was actually going through that phase. I was actually, ill from the mental health perspective. I was going through that phase, and I actually, went through a kind of a therapy, not an actual professional therapy, but I have a mentor who helped me out to come out from that zone, that anxiety, that depression zone, right? So I can relate that session, and that actually works. जो उन्होंने बताया था ना वो locus of mind, जो मेरे कंट्रोल में नहीं है. If you even just start doing that thing, it will work for you. And just make sure that right now this environment is very tricky. And what will happen, you don't know whether you are actually ill from your mental health or not. So whenever you feel that you are not as you, talk to your friends, family or mentor, or take a professional help. This is a critical situation right now that we are going through it. I have never thought that I will be going through this situation. The kind of a person that I am, that people tell me that, hey, you are very extrovert, you are a very funny guy, something like that. And I was going through that, and I realized that I wanted to cry. Like, just radu tumhara. But still it was very difficult. So that happens. So I hope you have learned something, and make sure that you take care of your mental health as well. Correct? So that was the third. Then what was the fourth session? No. Lunch. How you can miss that? Most important session, right, of the day. Because who can give you such delicious, tasty, Hawaii Gela papads are there, free lunch, right? What was the fifth one? EIML. So since starting to end, what we come through is, first, how to like keep your mind aware that what you are doing. Then how you start engaging your mind and your stuff with the AI, mindfulness with your AI. How can you utilize your AI in your problem solving? Now this session is all about from end to end how you can leverage the AI in your software development. With me till now? So I hope the expectations are clear. क्या आपने शुरुआत करवा जाएगी रहा Okay. So why Flutter? Because right now the Flutter is getting a lot of popularity. There are a lot of companies are coming or developing their apps with the Flutter. And the biggest benefit of the Flutter is an open source toolkit or framework by the Google to building beautiful natively compiled single code-based multi-platform framework. Now what is this? Using Flutter, you can develop applications so quickly. Like if you want to create clone of WhatsApp, Instagram, something, if you do the same software development in Android or iOS, it might take weeks or months. In Flutter, it will take just hours or days. So that's why people are choosing Flutter, right? And that's why I guess Khushbu has also started learning Flutter, because she works in a service-based company. I work in a product-based company. तो वहाँ पे क्या होता है? Clients आते हैं, बोलते हैं हमको कल चाहिए. ऐसे होता है ना? So in service-based company, the delivery line is always tomorrow. But I tell you, in product-based company, the delivery timeline is always yesterday. Okay. If you have worked on product-based company, you can relate and I can see those claps. Because whenever product manager comes, he's like, Dhrumil, ये develop करना है. अच्छा कब तक? नहीं वो करना था. अब तुम बताओ कब तक करोगे? Okay, next. So this is what happened,
Okay.
when comes to a service-based industry.
Okay. So last week मुझे एक idea आया था. Like we are preparing for the WTM event and we have a mental health related session. So I thought that let's make a meditation related app. So based on that idea, I started work on a Flutter application. That because Flutter is a single code based quick learning language, right? We can easily create application in just 2 days, I think, right? As per the documentation, yeah, right. So I just shared with the idea with Dhrumil, and we just think that let's make a application on a Flutter. And last week, yes, we started working on that application. Dhrumil?
So this is what happens when you go and start building applications. As soon as you get an idea, you get on a project, you start, like Flutter, start create meditation app, start writing the code. And when Khushbu called me, Dhrumil, demo kariye aaja, let's do it, right? And as an experienced developer, I'm like, okay, chalo, aa karo to. And this screen came. And now 3-4 વાર થયું. So I'm like, આ શું કર્યું છે? આપણી deadline કાલે નથી. But this is a free app that we are trying to build it. So then I asked her to like fix the bugs, like whatever bugs are, we created a list and we asked her that, hey, Khushbu, just do one thing, just go through one by one. This is what happened. Next slide, please. See, because what happens whenever she go to, to fix any bug, and what she ended up by doing it?
Another new bug, as usual, as per the developer experience,
And why this happens? What is the core reason? Because you are always focused on that bug only. That has been written in your Jira ticket or Asana ticket or whatever the project management tool you are using, either Excel sheet, some of the company might be using it, I'm sure. Right? So this happens. And when, because we were using the Google Sheets, so this happened. Okay. Right? So what happened, like because of this thing, we got frustrated. And I'm like, कि इसका solution क्या करे? Because we need more context, right? When you fix the bug, now what QA comes with? I did this journey, I pressed the button, it crashed. क्या किया, क्यों किया, कहाँ से आए थे, कैसे आए थे, क्या डेटा डाला था, nothing. तो कैसे करेंगे fix? तो context है मेरे पास, as a developer नहीं है. Context नहीं है तो मैं कैसे fix करूँगा? Right? Next. So that's why we conclude that even though Flutter is fast, but SDLC is hard, and that is critical. और अभी जो ये चल रहा है ना vibe coding, ये बहुत जल्दी ये सारी vibe सब उड़ने वाली, I'm telling you. है ना? As soon as you get an idea and you write the prompt and you see beautiful things up and running.
Magic. You can see magic in the laptop line.
Correct. So SDLC is hard. So what exactly SDLC is? Let's just define that. Please next. Khushbu.
So, as you know that whenever we start any project, we get some requirement from the client, right? I'm working in a service-based company, and Dhrumil, as we discussed, is working on the product-based, right? So, in the service-based company, whenever we get requirement, our BA team and sales team start, like they come with single document with the return of some of the few ideas they have, right? And then our BA team will start work on that. They create the scope of document, right? And after that requirement, it's like they want this application in like 1 week. That is their requirement, right? In the service base. They didn't think that, okay, development is not a quick development, right? We needed some time to develop. That's how the time they are asking for us to develop. Dhrumil?
So you बंद हो गया? Oh, fine. Requirement पहला ज बंद हो गया. Layoff नि season चालू थे कि लगा था. Fine. So in terms of requirement, so in a like service-based company, it's customer gives you a requirement. In product-based, we have product managers. कहाँ गए हमारे product managers? Product managers. So product managers comes with a requirement, and how they write the requirement? User want this, need to build this feature. One line requirement, not a one document. वो बाद में जब हम आके क्वेश्चन आंसर करते हैं, ठीक है? तो requirements are really fuzzy, right? BRD क्या है? पता है किसी को? 2 लोग को पता है सिर्फ. PRD क्या है? P. Okay, उसके बाद क्या आता है?
Scope document.
Sorry, requirement से PRD और BRD बनती है. उसके बाद क्या आता है? So what is SRS? See, all these jargons I really hate it, because SRS for you is something, for me is totally different, and I can see it I can say it on the stage. Right? So SRS, software requirement document, or maybe user stories. Correct? कितने प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर ने सही से यूजर स्टोरीज लिखी है? पहली बार में? Clap. You are going out of that locus of mind. You are not focusing on the thing that you need to focus on. Okay, fine. So that's about the requirements. So requirements are fuzzy. There are a lot of if, buts, and there are missing gaps, right? And that's where we miss some of the major functionality when we develop the app. So in SDLC, the first is the requirement. Second is like time crunch, because the feasibility, we never do feasibility check, even though we have study, right? Technical feasibility, business feasibility, security feasibility. We never do this. आया डेवलप किया दे दिया. Maintaining a code is painful. Service-based industry, I understand your pain because I have worked it. कोई नो भी कोड तुम्हारी पासे आवे, कचरो कोड.
અને રિલીઝ એ દિવસે દેવાની હોય પાછી.
રિલીઝ એ દિવસે દેવાની હોય. અને પ્લસ એમાં ફીચર એન્હાન્સ કરવાના હોય. અને what is the first thought that comes to your mind is, let's rewrite the code. Always, right? But in product based, what happens? I can't rewrite because the deadline was yesterday. અને મારી આગળ જે ડેવલપર હતો જેને કામ કર્યું હતું એને કમેન્ટ લખેલી. હવે પેલો મીમ ખબર છે કમેન્ટ વાળો? If you understand the code, fix it. If you don't, increase the counter +1 and leave it. Right. So this kind of things happens. So that's why the maintaining a code is really painful, like in this era, especially with the vibe code. Okay. Then testing. કેટલા લોકોને ખબર છે TDD?
કેટલા કરે છે actually testing?
ના ખબર છે પછી કરવાની વાત. Okay. BDD કોને ખબર છે? BDD. Any guesses?
Yes.
Correct. So
We
next
have
session
that.
is on that. Okay. So pay attention on testing with BDD. Okay. So પછી હું નથી કહેતો ડિટેલમાં. Okay, fine. So and the last is the production bug. જે બધાને જ ખબર છે. લાઈક અત્યારે ઇવેન્ટ ચાલી રહી છે. 2 કલાક પહેલા મારી પાસે કોલ હતો કે ભાઈ આ બિગ બાસ્કેટની અંદર આ ફાટ્યું છે, એડ્રેસ સિલેક્ટ કરું છું નથી થઈ રહ્યું. And I was working over there unnecessarily. So this happens. So the shit happens because the SDLC is hard. Next, please. That's where we can, take a help from such AI tools, which is Gemini.
Gemini.
So what Gemini is? Next. Are you aware what is Gemini? Everyone have, attended the previous session? LLM model? Did you discuss what is actually LLM? Why it called as an LLM? Large language model. Have you discussed this in previous session or you missed it? Sorry, come again, I missed it. It's a big, that's why it's a large language model. Okay, any other answers? Or any other guesses? Language model is okay, क्योंकि ये language model है, but large language model. So do we have something called small language model? And what is this used for? પતિ sorry મને ના ખબર પડી. So I'm just trying to summarize it. If I understood correctly, please, and if I'm not, just interrupt me, okay? So large language model is something which has a lot of data which is been trained on. That's why it's a large language model. The small language model is which have limited set of tokens which you can provide, and based on that only it can work for a specific task rather than all the generalized tasks. So that's the specific to some task and like specific with some number of tokens and the size. That's why it is a small language model. Then why it is a language model? Why just a ML model? And language model કેમ કહે છે? Okay, I got a one answer here. Another answer somewhere saying something here. હજુ આપણે ત્યાં મલ્ટી પર તો નથી ગયા, મલ્ટી મોડલ પર તો. It's like the language model. Why it is called as a language model? Okay. How many are agree with her answer? A language એટલે કે છે because you can communicate with the system, simple. That's why you're calling as a language model? No one agrees on it? See, મારી પાસે answer નથી. So don't expect me to answer it. My expertise in Flutter, not on AI. I'm a consumer of an AI. Okay. So the thing is, let's just keep that discussion aside. That was just for fun. But the main part of the Gemini, this 2.5 Pro model, this is the latest, is it has a lot of like content length. You can put whole code as in your input because 1 million tokens. Tokens is like your one word or maybe one character, right? Based on your how they are defining in their models. Okay, so that becomes your token length. So that means this model have lot of token length and that can be expanded to the 2x. So this is something that we are going to try. The capabilities, the way you are trying to add more points on the capabilities, not just text. You can add your code. You can add images. You can add audios. You can add videos as in the input, or live stream. Like you can, like do the live stream and ask directly to the model, hey, આમાં શું છે? એ કે મને નથી ખબર પડતી. તો બને. So that also has capability. And the last and most important point, that's why we are talking today, which is like it has more reasoning, which is like the coding ability, multi-modal processing, seamless development workflow from idea to production, right? And that's why we are going to talk about this model today on our SDLC. Next, please. So these are the phases. SDLC, requirement analysis. Once we got the requirement, what we do? We start designing. Apart from Figma design, what are the other designs happens in software development? Anyone aware about it? Wireframe, skeleton, okay. That is called Figma, high fidelity. High fidelity or medium fidelity, which is called wireframe. Wireframe prototype. What else design? What else comes under the design? DB architecture, okay. Database design, okay. What next? ER diagram, okay. What else? Sir? System design. Low level design, system design, solution design, architecture. ક્યારે નથી બનાવ્યું નહીં આપણે? કોણ બનાવે? That's where the difference comes, So when you start approaching this way, after getting the requirement proper, and then you go with the system design. First you take a look of 30,000 fit up. કે ભાઈ મારી સિસ્ટમ કેવી લાગે છે? એપ બનાવી છે તો એપમાં શું કરવું છે? મેડિટેશન એપ બનાવી છે તો મેડિટેશન એપમાં શું કરવું જોઈએ? ટાઈમર આવે, મને કે બ્રીથ ઇન, પછી કે બ્રીથ આઉટ, પછી કે પોઝ, પછી તમે જીવતા હો તો અગેન બ્રીથ ઇન. તમે પોઝ કર્યો ને વચ્ચે. How system knows whether you are alive or not? Data pati gaya tha. That's why offline first approach is required, and that comes in the system design. So how you approaching the solution? So that's called system design, high level design. ઉપર ઉપરથી તમે બનાવો કે અચ્છા આવું કઈ ગશે, આવું કઈ ગશે. Then you go to low level design. Then you go to aesthetics, your flow diagram, which is come your Figma and Miro and Adobe XD and other such software that you use to create a design. Correct. Then comes our favorite part, which is development. में आपने શું કરીએ? No, we introduce bugs. We don't write code. And then the fourth part we always skip because ये तो QA નું કામ છે, right? As a developer we don't do, right? Do we do testing? કેટલા લોકો લખે છે યુનિટ ટેસ્ટ કેસીસ?
હા,
1 2 3 4 તમારે તો લખવો પડે છે. 5 ઓકે, જાતે કોઈ નથી લખતું. Then deployment. Backend developer કેટલા છે અહીંયા? Backend developer. Tell me one thing apart from the API development which comes under backend. Database, server setup, environment setup, CI/CD. Okay, let's just consider it. Okay, fine. CL, acha CLI setup. Okay. Huh? Load balancing. Okay. Chalo, someone come from infra. Thank you. What next? See why I'm discussing these things, because we miss these things always. See right now તમને કદાચ આઈડિયા આવતો હશે કે હું જે બોલી રહ્યો છું ને એમાં તમને ખબર પડી જશે કે યાર આ બધું આપણે કરતા જ નથી. પ્રોજેક્ટ આવે આપણે શું કરીએ ભાઈ, એક ડેવલપર એપીઆઈ બનાવે છે, હું સ્ક્રીન બનાવું છું, ડિઝાઇનરે સ્ક્રીન આપી, એપીઆઈ કોલ કર્યો, આપી દીધી પ્રોડક્ટ.
પણ ધ્રુમિલ ડેડલાઇન જ એટલી ટાઈટ હોય સર્વિસ બેઝમાં, તો આટલું બધું લાંબી સાયકલ ક્યાંથી કરી શકીએ?
ફેર પોઈન્ટ. હા,
2 દિવસમાં પ્રોડક્ટ આપવાની હોય તો ક્યાંથી આ મેનેજ થાય?
તો કોણ છે તમારો મેનેજર 2 દિવસમાં હા પાડીને આવ્યો છે? એને બોલાવો પહેલા તો.
પ્રોડક્ટ મેનેજર
કોણ છે? સેલ્સ વાળા. આ બેન ઉપર આવો. ના ના નહીં, આર્યા સેલ્સ વાળા બેન પ્રોમિસ કરીને આજ ક્લાયન્ટને સાહેબ આમ આપી દઈશું. ક્યારે ઓનબોર્ડિંગ જોઈએ છે? સર તમે ખાલી પૈસા આપો. આમાં અમે લૂંટાઈ જઈએ છીએ.
એ જોવાનું જ ના હોય ને સેલ્સ વાળાને.
આના લીધે જ આગળના 2 સેશન થયા ખબર છે મેન્ટલ હેલ્થના.
થોડુંક હવે ઈ સાઈડ ઉપર નથી હજી ડેવલપ.
સો ખુશ્બુ ટેલ મી ચલો આમને સાઈડમાં મૂકીએ અત્યારે બીકોઝ એ તેમનું કામ કરે છે અને આપણા લોકોની બહારનો એરિયા છે. લેટ હર ડુ હર વર્ક, લેટ જસ્ટ ફોકસ ઓન અસ. ચલો ડેવલપમેન્ટ સમહાઉ કરી લીધું, રાત્રે જાગીને બીજા 2-4 ડેવલપરને બોલાવીને, 2-4 ફ્રેન્ડ્સને બોલાવીને, રાઈટ, બગ્સ ઇન્ટ્રોડ્યુસ કરી દીધા, લેટ્સ સી, ડિપ્લોય બી કરી દીધા, ક્લાયન્ટ પાસે જતી રહી બિલ્ડ. પછી જ્યારે મેન્ટેનન્સનો વાર આવે ત્યારે શું? ત્યારે તમે અસાઇન કેવી રીતે કરો છો બગ્સ? પોતે લો છો કે જે નવો મેમ્બર આવે એને અસાઇન કરો છો?
અરે આજે ડેડલાઇન બીજા પ્રોજેક્ટની છે તો આટલું તું જોઈ લેજે ને થોડુંક.
Okay, so what happens if in your team, for example, you have 2 kind of team members. One is like you have already worked on with them the same project, and there might be some new resources. Rather than resource, let's just call a new team members. કેમ કે resources તો 4 લોકો બોલે, આપણાથી ના બોલે. Sorry. So જ્યારે આવો સિચ્યુએશન આવે મેન્ટેનન્સનો અને જ્યારે ક્રિટિકાલિટી હાઈ હોય ત્યારે શું કરો તમે? Like how you make sure that we are able to deliver a project in a right time, with the right quality, with the right people? What would be your approach, especially in the maintenance mode?
So first, what we have to do, we have to if new member is coming in the product, right? We have to explain all things to them that they are aware about the code, the new enhancement which we have to implement, or the bug we already have a developer bug in our mind, right? Which skipped by QA. Some of the bugs, right? So we have to aware them that these are the bugs. We have added patch over here, right? So we have to resolve, like we have a time right now. So in the maintenance period, we have some time, so we can fix that bugs with the enhancement of enhance that feature, and that's how we do work in maintenance.
So that means you give them more context, more data, right, to the new employee that hey, these are the existing stuff. Once you are aware, you can start picking up the bugs.
Yes.
What if he denies? નથી કરું, મને કંઈક નવું કામ આપો. Okay, please, next. So all this in situation where Gemini comes into the picture, right? Because this is the main topic that we are going to focus on. So first is our requirement gathering, your requirement analysis, right? So whenever we get the one-liners or a one-pager, can we take a help of AI to, explain this stuff in detail, or just to do a cross-questioning? We can, because it has a lot of data, right? If any requirement comes, okay, meditation app banana hai. Meditation app mein kya banana hai? What are the flows? Who are the users? Who are the personas that, we are going to build an app for? If the product managers are busy, or if the client is not able to articulate the requirement properly, we can take an help of an AI, right? And once we get a help from AI, we can, ask them back to validate those things. That's where the Gemini or any large language model will come into the picture. Here we can use it. One more point that we miss always is like creating a test suite or test cases. I'm not talking about the technical unit test cases. I'm talking about the test cases જે QA Excel sheet માં લખે છે, રાઈટ? એ એક્સેલ શીટમાં જ લખે છે અત્યારે બી, અને જો કદાચ સેલેનિયમ યુઝ કરતો હશે તો બી એક્સેલમાં જ લખતો હશે ને પછી એને સેલેનિયમમાં લેતો હશે, રાઈટ? એના માટે બી એને રિક્વાયરમેન્ટ તો જોઈએ અને એને ટેસ્ટ કેસ લખવા માટે એને ટાઈમ જોઈએ. કાન્ટ વી ઓટોમેટ દેટ? રિક્વાયરમેન્ટ પછી સીધા ટેસ્ટ કેસ બની જાય? Because as a human, there is a tendency that we might miss the negative test cases that we always miss. અને એ કોણ પકડે ખબર છે? પ્રોડક્ટ બેઝ કંપનીમાં CTO અને CEO પકડે એ બગ, અને ટાઉન હોલમાં પકડે અને પછી ઊભા કરે. આ PR અપ્રૂવ કોણે કરી હતી? સર મેં. કેવી રીતે? સર ગ્રીન બટન આવે ત્યાં અપ્રૂવ દબાઈ. This happens, right? Because as a human, we miss that negative scenarios. Apart from negative scenarios, there are other 2 major points. One is security scenarios. Security related thing we always miss. Because security is a myth. accept it. Especially in service based, there is no security aspect in our analysis or our estimate, our pricing. તમે કીધું બનાવી દીધું, તમે નહોતું કીધું, નહોતું બનાવ્યું. તમારે બનાવજો, વધારે પૈસા લાગશે, આપો બનાવી દીધું. Simple, period. Right? Another next important thing, apart from security and negative, the edge cases. જે કોઈએ નહીં વિચાર્યા હોય, પણ જ્યારે તમે કોઈને ડેમો બતાવશો ને તમારા ફ્રેન્ડને, ત્યારે કે યાર આવું કરને. And you know from inside because you have written the code. Like ના 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 તો હજુ next release માં આવશે. ખબર છે નહીં આવવાનું. So those are the things we can automate using the AI model, and especially with the Gemini 2.5 because we tried this. So last month we had a hackathon in our company and we won that hackathon luckily because we built a GenAI product. As soon as you give them a PRD, user stories and grooming calls. Do you know what is grooming calls? Product manager જે લખેલું હોય ને એ તમને આવીને વાંચીને સંભળાવે અને તમે એના પર ક્વેશ્ચન કરો. That's called grooming calls. Right? Okay. Fine. So that's the grooming call. So what we did was we actually take all these inputs as in the audio script, PRD document, Jira stories, and we give them LLM model. We wrote one prompt કે ભાઈ આનો યુઝ કરીને અમને ટેસ્ટ કેસ જનરેટ કરીને આપ અને એને જનરેટ કરીને આપ્યા અને એટલા સારા આપ્યા કે જે અમે પહેલાં જનરેટ કરેલા હતા એનાથી સારા આપ્યા. So what we found is because our QA was spending at least 5 to 10 minutes to write one test case. વિચારીને લખતા વાર લાગે. So at the end of the day, he might be able to finish 50, 60 test cases. But I was able to generate the same amount of test cases within 1 minute. And with better quality. So over there we can use GenAI products, which is like LLM products, right? Next, design. We talk about the system design, high level design. So high level design come with, flows, architecture diagrams, ERD diagrams, database diagrams, system diagrams, where how systems are talking to each other. That all you can get a help from them. Mermaid કેટલા લોકોને ખબર છે? Mermaid પેલી છોકરી જે પાણીમાં તળે એ નહીં. Mermaid is a format using which you can create your UML diagrams. જે કોલેજમાં ભણ્યા હતા ને, ER diagrams, flow diagrams, sequence diagrams, activity diagrams, that all you can actually create using writing a code. That format is called as a Mermaid format. So you can use that using the GenAI to tell him कि भाई meditation app बनाना है, these are the steps, help me to create the architecture design and create diagrams whenever required using Mermaid format. मस्त बनेना आपसे. Try करजो. I'm giving you the prompts how to write it. Okay? So using that you can create your diagrams, your architecture diagrams, your design is covered. Next, development.
Obvious, right? Within, like for the development, we can use code review from the Gemini, right? If we have a code ready, we can ask them to review it and provide the bug. The errors might be happening in the future, like runtime errors. They are also providing some suggestions to improvement of the code. Also, the logic building or the feature we want to implement in the new feature we want to implement, we can also ask them to some prompt that we needed this feature. They provide suggestions, right? The duty is our, right? What we have to use from their output. So that's how we can use code generation using Gemini and enhance our development speed and complete our project. And about the code review, it is easier than our senior developer who spend whole day and in the reporting they mention that, okay, I have done 8 hours of code review of my junior and provided this much of bugs, right? Instead of that, ChatGPT will provide quick solutions and quick reviews of your code in like just 5 minutes. So we can, instead of wasting the time of whole 8 hours, we can easily grab that things in 5 minutes. Yeah, Dhrumil.
Yes. Correct. I'm coming to that. I know because See, she works in a service-based
Service-based company, yes.
I told you, right? There is no security.
There is no security.
The security infosec comes to here. If I want to do the same thing, right? I want to use the Copilot. Can I do that in my company? Because my code is very proprietary code. Tata Neo app no code કોઈએ જોયો છે? કશે અવેલેબલ નથી. મારા પર્સનલ લેપટોપમાં અવેલેબલ નથી. પ્રોફેશનલ લેપટોપ સિવાય. કે પ્રોફેશનલ લેપટોપમાં પેન ડ્રાઈવ અટેચ કરું ને સીધો ફોન આવે. સર તમે પેન ડ્રાઈવ અટેચ કરી છે એનો અપ્રુવલ ક્યાં છે? સીધો ફોન આવે. So that info security is there in enterprise level app. So what happens here in such code generation? How we can use this code generation? So there is something called local deployment, where I guess in the previous session you might have discussed about the rack-based approach, something like that. So what you can do is you can create your own local setup, deploy your own model, and train the model on your code. So that remains under your infrastructure rather than going out. Or maybe there is something called code review. Code Rabbit, ખબર છે કોઈને? Code Rabbit search કરજો ઘરે જઈને. So Code Rabbit provides an automatic AI generated code reviews. And it is free for all your open repository. So તમે open source માં કંઈ કરી રહ્યા છો ને તો તેમાં કરજો તમે. It actually reviews a code better than me. I'm reviewing daily basis. I'm reviewing at least 20 PRs a day. Today itself, right? But as soon as I found this tool, it's amazing. એ શું કરે ખબર છે? જે કોડ લખેલો હોય ને, જે PR આવ્યો હોય ને, એ કોડનો પહેલાં સિક્વન્સ ડાયાગ્રામ બનાવે જાતે કે ભાઈ આ કોડમાં આટલા આટલા ચેન્જીસ થયા છે. પછી નીચે કમેન્ટ આપે કે ભાઈ આમાં આ ચેન્જીસ છે, એક ટેબલ બનાવીને આપે કે આ ફાઇલમાં આ ચેન્જ છે, આ છે, આ છે. નીટ પિક પણ આપે. ડુ યુ નો વોટ ઇઝ નીટ પિક? એવા ચેન્જીસ કે કરો તો સારું, ના કરો તો ચાલશે. એવું હોય કે ભાઈ આ વેરિયેબલનું નામ આથી એની જગ્યાએ યાર બિલ નંબર કરી દે ને, એ શું છે? ધેટ્સ અ નીટ પિક. એ પણ સજેસ્ટ કરે છે. It's a good thing. And such third-party solutions have a SLA, software legal agreement or something like that, or maybe licensing agreement, software licensing agreement. So on that such kind of software you can utilize on your proprietary code. ये लोग make sure करे कि भाई तुम्हारा कोड हमें कस्से use नहीं करिए, हमारा model train करवा के कस्से. That is a legal agreement. So that also you can use it. So I hope that answers your doubts and questions. So you can use it like GitHub Copilot. Similarly, we have Gemini Code Assist, Gemini Code Review. जो GitHub में access ना हो तो you can use this. Next, test case generation we discussed, from PRD to test case generation. Unit test cases, I guess many of you have tried that. કેટલા લોકોએ કરી છે? કોડ આપો અને કહો એને કે ભાઈ ટેસ્ટ કેસ જનરેટ કરીને આપ યુનિટ ટેસ્ટ કેસ. એવરીવન? મેં બી કરી હતું પણ પછી એલર્ટ આવી ગયું ચેટ જીપીટીમાં. So then I stop it. Last is the mocks. Very helpful. How many front-end developers here? Front-end. Okay. And back-end? Back-end વાળા કેટલા એવા છે કે જે લોકો API કોન્ટ્રાક્ટ સાચો નથી આપતા અથવા તો મોડેલ નથી આપતા? બધા જ. કોઈએ ના કીધું કે હું આપું છું. That's where mocks comes into the picture. Like, as a front-end developer, I suffer this kind of problem a lot. So what I do is, as soon as I get a contract, I just ask, the LLM model that, hey, help me with the dummy mocks so that I can work on my stuff. तो मारी वस्तु block नहीं. Are you with me till now? खबर पड़ा जा? Do you think this is helpful? Fine. Next. Deployment. GitLab કેટલા વાપરે છે? પોતાના રનર લખેલા છે કે પછી રેડીમેડ રનર્સ છે? આ રનર ક્યાંથી આવ્યું વચ્ચે? ઓકે. Anyone know what I'm talking about? Okay, keep that aside. What is the GitHub Actions? GitHub Actions? Okay. GitHub Actions માં bots બી છે? નથી ખબર? Fine. Static code analysis કેટલાને ખબર છે? Lint check. કે ભાઈ તમારો કોડ જે છે એ આટલા 5 થી વધારે પેરામીટર છે મેથડમાં તો તમને એરર મારી દે, PR અપ્રૂવ ના થવા દે. એવું કશું છે? કશું સેટઅપ કરેલું છે તમારે ક્યાં? રાઈટ? વેરિયેબલના નામ બહુ જ મોટા છે, ક્લાસનું નામ કેપિટલ નથી,
યલો કલરની વોર્નિંગ બાય ધ વે ઉપર આવે લિન્ટ વાળી.
હા, થેન્ક્સ. યલો કલરની વોર્નિંગ જે આપણે ઇગ્નોર કરીએ છીએ.
યસ.
સો એ બધી વોર્નિંગને સ્ટોપ કરવી હોય કે કોડ આગળ મર્જ જ ના થાય, સો એ બધું ક્યાં આવે? So there is something called CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous deployment. તો જ્યારે તમે GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket ગમે તે વાપરતા હો, and that point you can set up a workflow. You can set up those actions. You can set up those runners who will do the specific work. તમને કહી રાખેલું કે ભાઈ કોડની ક્વોલિટી આટલી હોય ને તો જ એને અપ્રૂવ થવા દેજો, તો જ રિવ્યુઅર પાસે જાય. નહીં તો પહેલાં જ ના પાડી દે ભાઈ તારો કોડ જ સમજી જાઓ ફિલિંગ્સ, રાઈટ? કે નહીં જાય આગળ. તો તમારે પહેલાં એ ફિક્સ કરવાનું, પછી આગળ જાય કોડ. So those are the things you can do, automate, or you can actually write those things using the Gemini. તો તમે કહો કે ભાઈ મારો આ કોડ છે, help me with creating those lint checks and help me to set up it. તો સેટઅપ કરી દેશે. આનાથી ફાયદો શું થાય છે? આ જે બધું આપણે કરી રહ્યા છે, what is the benefit? Next slide please. મેન્ટેનન્સની અંદર ફાયદો થાય, કેમ કે તમારી પાસે જે પ્રોજેક્ટ આવ્યો તો એની ડેડલાઇન શું હતી?
2 days.
2 days. આ બધી વસ્તુ સેટઅપ કરેલી હોય તો કદાચ આપણે મીટ કરી શકીએ ડેડલાઇન વિથ ધ રાઇટ ક્વોલિટી. એટલીસ્ટ વી હેવ સમ કોન્ફિડન્સ, રાઈટ? કે ભાઈ મેં જે કોડ લખ્યો છે એકચ્યુઅલી રાઇટ છે. ધ ટેસ્ટ કેસીસ જનરેટ થાય છે, આટલા બધા ટેસ્ટ કેસીસ જે છે કવર કરેલા છે, ટેસ્ટિંગ ઓટોમેટ કરેલું છે. આઈ હેવ ઓટોમેટેડ ધ સેલેનિયમ, આઈ હેવ ઓટોમેટેડ ધ યુનિટ ટેસ્ટ કેસીસ, રાઈટ? ડિપ્લોયમેન્ટ ઓટોમેટિક થઈ રહ્યું છે. જેવી મારી PR મેઇનથી રિલીઝમાં મર્જ થઈ, ધ પાઇપલાઇન વિલ ગેટ ટ્રિગર, ઇટ વિલ ગેટ ડિલિવર ટુ ધ ક્લાયન્ટ અકાઉન્ટ. મારા ઇન્ટરનલ ટેસ્ટિંગમાં કે બીટા ટેસ્ટિંગના ટ્રેક પર ખબર પડે છે કે બધું બાઉન્સ જાય છે, કે પછી હું બહુ હાઈ લેવલ બોલું છું. શુડ આઈ કમ ડાઉન ઓર ધીસ ઇઝ ગુડ? ગુડ, ફાઇન. સો ધીસ વિલ હેલ્પ અસ ટુ ફિક્સ ધ બગ્સ બિકોઝ ઇટ વિલ ગીવ અસ સજેશન્સ, રાઈટ? એન્ડ ઓલ્સો રીફેક્ટર ધ આઈડિયા કે ક્યાં રીફેક્ટર કરવું છે, શું કરવું છે. એન્ડ ધેટ્સ વાય rather than thinking that Gemini or AI will take your job, no, it will not take your job if you are smart. See, there is a very nice quote that I'm hearing from last 1 or 2 DevFest from one of our speaker, and also other speakers have also mentioned that, and I would like to re-quote this. AI will not take your job. The person who know AI better than you will take your job. Right? Because in nowadays, what is happening, તમારે વસ્તુ સસ્તી કરતાં અત્યારે જોઈએ છે. કેટલા લોકો બ્લિંકિટ યુઝ કરે છે અને ઝેપ્ટોમાં ડિસ્કાઉન્ટ કૂપન આવ્યા પછી ઝેપ્ટો યુઝ કરી? રાઈટ? વસ્તુ નથી જોઈતી પણ અત્યારે આવી જાય છે. યુ વોન્ટ ટુ ગેટ દેટ ફીલ. અચ્છા આવી ગઈ યાર, આટલું જલ્દી નીચેથી ઉપર નથી આવતો, વસ્તુ આવી ગઈ. રાઈટ? સો ધ સેમ સિનેરિયો ઇઝ ગેટિંગ ચેન્જ ઇન સોફ્ટવેર ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રી એઝ વેલ. તો જે તમારો ક્લાયન્ટ છે અથવા જે તમારો પ્રોજેક્ટ મેનેજર છે અથવા વોટ એવર ઓર હુમસો એવર ઇઝ કમિંગ ટુ યુ ટુ સોલ્વ હિઝ ઓર હર પ્રોબ્લેમ, દે નીડ અ સોલ્યુશન ક્વિક, કરેક્ટ એન્ડ એફિશિયન્ટ. સો યુ હેવ યોર સ્કિલ્સ which is somehow limited and you are enhancing it on daily basis. So what you need to do is you need to add some more tools so that you can ramp up on your skill set, right? IKEA જ્યારે નહોતું ત્યારે બી કાર્પેન્ટરની જોબ તો હતી જ ને, અને IKEA આવ્યા પછી બી કાર્પેન્ટરની જોબ્સ તો છે જ. તો ચેન્જ શું થયો? બિકોઝ વેન IKEA કેમ પીપલ થોટ કે યાર હવે તો કોઈને કાર્પેન્ટર જોઈએ જ નહીં, બધા પોતાની જાતે જ ફિક્સ કરી દેશે ફર્નિચર, રાઈટ? કાર્પેન્ટરની જોબ ગઈ, વધી ગઈ ને? કેમ? IKEA વાળાની ડિમાન્ડ હશે, પણ IKEA વાળા જે બનાવીને આપતા હતા એ બી લોકોને નથી આવડતું, એ બી કોમ્પ્લેક્સ જ છે, એ વાંચતા નથી આવડતું. સો આપણી જે જોબ છે જવાની નથી, પણ જોબ સ્વિચ થવાની. સો બી પ્રિપેર્ડ. ઇફ યુ આર નોટ લર્નિંગ AI, આઈ એમ નોટ સેઇંગ દેટ સ્ટાર્ટ લર્નિંગ હાઉ ટુ બિલ્ડ LLM મોડલ્સ. નો, એટલીસ્ટ સ્ટાર્ટ કન્ઝ્યુમિંગ ઇટ ઇન અ રાઇટ વે. તમને યુઝ કરતા જ નહીં આવડે આ બધી વસ્તુ, તો આગળ કેવી રીતે વસ્તુ? મેક સેન્સ? આ એઆઈનો યુઝ કરીને હું હેકેથોન જીત્યો હતો, જેમાં મેં કશું જ નથી કર્યું, બધું એઆઈએ કરીને આપ્યું. દેર ઇઝ અ વેબસાઇટ કોલ lovable.ai, ખબર છે? એમાં ખાલી 6 વાર પ્રોમ્પ્ટ લખીને અમે આખું ફ્રન્ટ એન્ડ ડેવલપ કરી દીધું, આખું ફ્રન્ટ એન્ડ, ખાલી 6 પ્રોમ્પ્ટ 1 by 1. અને જજીસ પાગલ થઈ ગયા, તમે બનાવી દીધું. પેલા લોકો હજુ લોગિનના ફ્લોમાં છે. આમ લાઈક ઓકે ડન. ગેટિંગ માય પોઈન્ટ? સો ધેટ્સ ધ ક્રક્સ. નેક્સ્ટ. So these are the tools that you can use from the Gemini. The Gemini Studio, the APIs, and your favorite?
Gemini Code Assist and Code Review, Gemini Code Review.
And the Cloud Assist, deployment matter. Now the people like me who doesn't know backend, they only know front end. हमारे एज एन इंडिविजुअल को ऐप बनाने डिप्लॉय करवी हो तो केवी करूँ मन नहीं आवड़તું. Should I go to Stack Overflow, ChatGPT, or Cloud Assist? Because these are very specific. So I definitely will go with the Cloud Assist. Right? Next, please. It's bonus. We talk about the lovable.ai. कि prompt आपने software बनी यहाँ पे. Firebase Studio just came last week. Use this. अत्यारे free tier में है. If you give a prompt, it will give you a web app out of your prompt. आखी ऐप बनाई ना आप है. Right? Next is A2A protocol. What is agent? Are you aware about the agent? Okay, in real life, what is agent? Let's just do not talk about the tech. In real life, what is agent? Okay, I heard something over there. Travel agent, પછી LIC agent. I'm like LIC કોઈ બોલ્યું કેમ નહીં, એ તો પહેલા આવવું જોઈએ. Sorry, you were saying something. Broker, okay. Then what? So agent is means someone who have a expertise on that particular domain, right? Now these LLM models are like very generic. Can we have LLM models or such kind of tools, AI based, which do specific work very precisely, just like a travel agent? If I can ask an LLM model, hey, book my trip to go back to Bangalore, and please make sure that book a taxi as well. As soon as I land, I should get my taxi. So can this be developed by the AI, or can the AI will be able to do it? Yes, no, yes. Now we are in a space that can be developed and can be done. So this A2A protocol is nothing but if you have multiple agents, for example, in a travel booking, right? Because in the same example, what I'm doing is I'm searching for the flight options. I'm booking a flight, and then I'm looking for a taxi option and booking it. And that taxi option and the flight departure, arrival time should be, in a sync. એવું ના થાય કે પછી 10 વાગે પહોંચું ને ટેક્સી 2 વાગે આવે. So એનો મતલબ નથી. So in that case, the agent and another agent should be able to talk to each other. But what if that one agent is built on like other platform, and my another agent is built on another platform? How they will talk? That requires some protocol, some common language. So that's what the Google just announced as a A2A protocol, agent to agent protocol. The third is like ADK, agent development kit. ખાલી 10 કે 12 લાઈનનો કોડ લખો ને તમારો એજન્ટ રેડી. Try that out. This is pretty new. These all are like last week જ બધું અનાઉન્સ થયું છે. Gemini code reviews already we discussed. Looks like copy paste માં delete કરવાનું રહી ગયું. So next please. Cautions. એવું નહીં કે પછી આના પર જ રિલાય રહેવાનું. Because these things are not as a part of the latest things, especially all LLM models. They have some cutoff dates on which they have been trained on. So always be mindful. So there are high chances that if you don't provide the proper data, it might give some random answers. એને અલગ વર્ડ કહેવાય છે ખબર છે? hallucination, right? પછી how you relate this hallucination in the real life? સાચું ખોટું ખબર ના પડે, right? For example, હું મારા કિડને કંઈક પૂછું, એ રેન્ડમ આન્સર આપે, એને જે ખબર પડે આપી દીધો. સાચું ખોટું એને નથી ખબર કે મને નથી ખબર, પણ એને આપી દીધો. That's called hallucination, right? So happens many times કે તમે આવી રીતે ઇનપુટ આપ્યા. હવે મેં PRD આપી, ગ્રુમિંગ કોલ આપ્યો. ગ્રુમિંગ કોલમાં વચ્ચે એક જણ કહે છે યાર મારે ભૂખ લાગી છે સમોસા ખાવા, અને પછી એક અંદર આવી ગયું કે ભાઈ ફૂડ ઓર્ડરિંગના સમોસા એડ કરવાના. Happens, right? So you have to make sure that you don't fall into that traps. So whenever you are working with LLM models, make sure you are mindful. There are high chances that it can give you non-contextual answer as well. એટલે લોજિક માંગ્યા છે ChatGPT જોડે, ઇન્ટરવ્યૂ આપ્યા હશે તો વચ્ચે વચ્ચે લોજિક માંગ્યા હશે ને સાઈડમાં ખોલીને? નહીં? ઓકે. Because I allowed applicant to use ChatGPT. મને ખબર છે એની પાસે આન્સર નથી. એ ઓલવેઝ ખોટો આન્સર આપે ને એપ્લિકન્ટ ઓલવેઝ એ ટ્રાય કરે, અને મને ખબર છે ફેલ થશે કેમ કે આન્સર ખાલી ડોક્યુમેન્ટેશનમાં જ છે, સ્ટેક ઓવરફ્લો પર બી નથી. So there are high chances that whatever logic that you are getting from AI that can be incorrect. તો 2 દિવસમાં જે પ્રોજેક્ટ પતાવવાનો છે ને એટલે 100% રિલાય નહીં રહેવાનું એના પર. Use your own human skills as well, right? So not always generated code is always correct code. Okay, be mindful that. So always verify. That's it. Thank you.